talk. It's real 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 talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go on a beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, Monday evening in the city. It's 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of Real Talk Memphis. So happy to have you with us this evening. I am your humble host. My name is Chip Washington. Pleasure to be here. Glad I was able to make it down here. You know, the traffic on the interstate was so light this afternoon, it almost felt like it was a holiday. But I didn't question it. I had no issues whatsoever getting down here today, which is a good thing. So how are you? It's been about 7 days or so since we communicated last. I hope that you are doing well. We have a great show for you this evening. We hope you can stick around for the entire 60 minutes. If not, we made some provisions, as we always do on this broadcast. And speaking of, how do you get this fine piece of radio broadcasting? Well, I know. That's a question I get all the time. Here we go. We're going to run it down for you. Right now, live and local on 91.7 WYXR. You can also catch us on the app, the WYXR.org app. You can catch the show live right now. Take you right to the page, and it says live broadcast or whatever it says up there. You just hit that, and you're with us. We are also going to be streaming live this evening, live streaming on Facebook. So you can go to my page, Chip Washington, and you can check the show out. And you can add a comment or two, say hello, the whole 9 yards. And the show will be posted in the next day or so. And when it is posted, you can find us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Did you know we're a podcast? I think you might have heard that, right? Yeah, we're a podcast. So you can always download it at your leisure as well. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let us move on to the business at hand. We have a good show for you tonight. We're always trying to provide you with much needed information. And I think we have the guest list to do so tonight. The first up at bat tonight will be City Council Chairman J.B. Smiley. He will talk to us about what is happening with this Tennessee state takeover in reference to threatening to withhold sales tax from the city of Memphis if Memphis goes ahead and puts a referendum on the ballot regarding gun control for you to actually vote up or down on. Well, they don't want any part of that up there. And they said, if you try that, Memphis, and you put that on the ballot, we will withhold your state tax. That's about $70-80 million worth right there. That's a threat. And I read something that said, you know what, we'll turn the threat into a promise. That was from one of the leadership up there at the House. So the city of Memphis, and I commend them for this, filed a lawsuit against the Shelby County Election Commission in reference to this. That case will be heard sometime this week, but we'll talk a little bit about all of this and this perceived getting in our business down here because they don't want us to change the way things are done, around the state. So we'll talk to him about that in a few minutes. A little bit later on, we will talk to Ariell Gipson Martin, and she heads a program director for something called Commission Connect, and it is an organization that kind of covers the entire 13 county area and promotes connectivity for all the citizens and probably brings us more into some of the daily decisions that are made. She's going to explain more about that program and how it would benefit you. And a little bit later on, we're going to speaking with Vinessa Brown. Vinessa is the co-founder and current executive director of an organization called Lifeline to Success, and that is an organization that helps individuals who have been incarcerated kind of find their way. You've been locked up for a while. You don't know what's going on the outside. Well, that group is tailor-made for individuals like that who have had issues with law enforcement, have been jailed, and they've gotten out and they're trying to, redevelop themselves and live a better life. That organization received a grant award and some new housing, and she's going to talk with us a little about all of that a little bit later on. So, yeah, pretty good show tonight. We hope you can stick around for it. As we do each and every Monday on this fine radio show, we celebrate those who are celebrating their birthdays. And, of course, we have a few of those today as well. If you celebrated over the weekend or you celebrated today or your big birthday is coming up this week, this is your segment of the broadcast where we give you the big shout out. I can't do that, however, unless I say, hit it, Bryn. Happy birthday going out to the following individuals. Chanel Joseph celebrating a birthday today. Kim Grice, happy birthday to you. Pinky Killebrew, I know her. She's celebrating her birthday today as well. As is Dana Brody, Sharon Wells, Ricky Todd celebrating today. Happy birthday going out to Keisha Newell and Jennifer Bridgeforth. Happy birthday to each and every one of you. And if the Lord says so, we will all be back here next year to celebrate your next trip around the sun. Happy birthday to each and every one of you. Thank you, Bren. So we heard late this afternoon, we got some breaking news that was a bit disappointing in terms of one of our acting legends. We found out this afternoon that James Earl Jones died today at the age of 93. Of course, depending on what generation you were born in, you know him as the voice of Darth Vader in the Star Wars movies. I am your father. And you also know him for the current generation as Mufasa, right? If you're a Lion King fan, Lola, you like it? Yes, those are. Absolutely. She's quoting now. She's quoting the show. Everybody knows Mufasa. That's big in my family. I tell you what. All I had to say was, man, we lost Mufasa. What? They went a little nuts. But anyway, he leaves a string of movies and plays, and he was just an extraordinary actor. And of course, he's the voice of CNN. This is CNN. So anybody who has traversed life a little bit has been touched by him one way or another. So may his memory always be a blessing to us. James Earl Jones, dead at the age of 93. All right, some news and notes. Today was a day a lot of folks have been looking forward to in terms of maybe some justice. The federal case against the officers involved in the killing of Tyree Nichols, that trial began today. They are now in the business of trying to select a panel for this to be able to hear this case. 3 of the officers they all pled not guilty today. The other 2 officers actually took plea deals beforehand, and this is the federal case. Now, after the federal case, the state trial will take place as well. The 2 officers that took plea deal, one took a 15-year plea for the federal case, and the other one, the recommended sentence for him was 40 years and no more than 40 years. The judge will make a determination on exactly how much time he will serve sometime by the end of the year. But this, obviously, for the family members of Tyree Nichols, this is a bittersweet day, but at least the process of justice will take place. And they say that the trial should take somewhere in the vicinity of 3 weeks. So we'll keep a close eye on that. And of course, many of us are very aware of what happened in that situation. And as Tyree's mother said in an interview last night, They just want justice. They want to see justice done for their son. So we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, something else we need to keep an eye on. Right now, Tropical Storm Francine is mulling around down there just south of Louisiana. It is forecasted to make landfall sometime Wednesday. And yes, it will impact our weather sometime late Wednesday into Thursday and possibly even into Friday in terms of significant rainfall and some winds and some other things. We'll keep a close eye on that. Now, this is the weekend that we have two major events. The Cooper Young Festival will be on Saturday, as well the Southern Heritage Classic. So there'll be a lot of people milling around this weekend. Right now, Saturday looks to be a nice day. The rain should have moved away. Temperatures in the low 80s, so not too bad. But we'll keep an eye on Francine the next couple of days. The Memphis City Council filed a lawsuit against the Shelby County Election Commission, as I mentioned earlier, in reference to wanting to put some gun control referendums on the ballot for you or for us to vote for. Well, the state has threatened to withhold sale tax if that happens. And of course, I read this afternoon, and I'll be talking to Councilman Smiley about this in a few minutes, that the governor has weighed in on all of this. And he didn't say whether he would sign off on the fact that our state sales taxes would be denied. But at the same time, he's not too happy about Memphis wanting to protect its own citizens down here and going against state law. So, here we go about all of that. Let me see here. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is at the County Commission this evening asking for $15.5 million in emergency money to repair for repairs to the jail, which is old, dilapidated, tired, and everything else. We'll see what happens. The county commission actually is in charge of all of that. They are the ones who are supposed to fund this situation, and that is their responsibility as the county jail. Until they can build this thing, they're gonna have to keep it and hold it together as best they can within the next, however long it takes for them to try to build a new jail. So we'll find out what happens with that. And the folks at Shelby County, the attorneys for Shelby County government have filed for an expedited hearing on suspending County Clerk Wanda Halbert until her ouster hearing begins. In other words, they're not happy with the response or lack of response that when they filed this petition to this last ouster position to remove her from office, they weren't real happy with the response that they got from Wanda Halbert, whose response was from her attorney to dismiss this case once again. Well, now they're upset about that. Now they want to have her removed immediately from office while she's waiting for a trial to determine whether she will be permanently removed from her position as county clerk. It's a little messy, isn't it? It's a little messy. I have thoughts about all this, but again, we'll keep a close eye on this particular situation as well. All right, that's a good look at the news and notes. Monday Night Football is back tonight. I'm excited about that once we get out of here. But we have some business to take care of, don't we? And we will do that on this Monday edition of Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Let's take a break, and we'll come right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Support for WYXR comes from March 1 Music, presenting Billy Strings, performing 2 nights in Memphis at FedEx Forum, December 6th and 7th. Tickets on sale now. More information at billystrings.com.
Programming on WYXR is brought to you by a grant from Arts Memphis, who has invested $94 million into our local arts community to teach, uplift, unite, and engage Memphians of all ages and zip codes.
Support for WYXR, including our 2024 stereo sessions, comes from Duncan Williams Asset Management, specializing in financial management for individual investors, businesses, nonprofits, and foundations. More information at dwassetmgmt.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on a beautiful Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. Glad to have you with us. And I'm also glad to have our first guest. And I sort of laid this out for you in reference to the thought process of the folks who lead the legislative efforts up in Nashville to basically want to decide whether or not the city of Memphis will put a referendum on the ballot in November for you to vote on, determining some gun control efforts here, trying to keep us safe, and just trying to put some policies and procedures in place. Well, they've had a bit of a hissy fit up there, and they have threatened to remove the sales tax that we are due every year, possibly withhold that from the city. In reference to this, so I invited Councilman and Council Chairman J.B. Smiley on the show to talk about this. He, along with some of his colleagues, filed a lawsuit on Friday against the Shelby County Election Commission, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. He joins me now. Councilman, great to see you. How you doing tonight?
I'm well. Looking forward to this conversation.
Yes, sir. And I told him during the break, I said there was a news story that popped up here not too long ago that the Governor Lee, has weighed in on all of this. And while he said he would not necessarily sign off if about the state's funds, about the state taxes being being withheld from the city of Memphis, he is absolutely not in favor of what the city of Memphis is trying to do, which is trying to keep our citizens safe, by the way. And he thinks that you're going, everybody needs to be on the same page. This is what the governor says, and Memphis is not playing ball. So having said all of this and having realized what was going on when you first heard about this, your thought process, and where are we now?
For me, I could care less what the governor says about the city of Memphis. He visited the city of Memphis just like every other politician from East Tennessee once every 3 or 4 years because he's supposed to visit the city of Memphis. I could care less, to be very direct and very honest. My obligation, just like everybody who was elected to serve on the city council, is to the people who called the 901 home. So I'm always going to put the people of Memphis first. And I could care less about folks who visited Memphis every so often, what they have to say.
So having said that, and when all of this first came down and the threat to the Shelby County Election Commission made by the leadership in the State House to not put this on the ballot, the Shelby County Election Commission voted not to put it on the ballot. You all decided,
they didn't vote.
They didn't. Oh, that's what we heard. Oh, they didn't vote. They were just told.
They didn't vote. They just announced it.
Okay.
One of the things that we alleged in our lawsuit, which is factual, is they never took a vote in a public meeting. The Open Meeting Act required them to do it in a public meeting. They just announced the decision. They did not take a vote. So problematic. They made a lot of decisions that the city council believes is problematic as relates to the legality of their actions. Our position is real clear. We think the people of Memphis should have a say in the laws that apply particularly to a community that's completely different from every other city in this state.
Yeah, and I think having said what you just said, that really is the key. I mean, we have big time problems down here. We all know it. They know it too. But to keep a local municipality from doing everything they can, you all were elected. You're an elected body who are responsible in part for a lot of these laws, being made here in our city, to trying to keep people safe. So you had to resort to filing a lawsuit, which you did with the support of several of your council members, and even the Shelby County Board of Commissioners have also gotten behind you in terms of this effort. You told me a couple of days ago that this has not been greeted very well by the folks up in Nashville, and there's been some pushback, has there not?
Yeah, well, the Speaker of the House, the Lieutenant Governor, and the current governor, they made some threats to the people of Memphis. And, if we have to file suit every time they pass laws that disproportionately affects Memphis, we will do that. Them essentially saying that they're going to take sales tax dollars from the city of Memphis, they can't do that. We'll file suit because the people of Memphis deserve their sales tax revenue. They had never played ball with us, ever. There's never been a time in which the state of Tennessee has looked favorably on the city of Memphis with this supermajority in office. And nor the city council wants to sit back and allow them to just punch at us and allow us to be in a situation where guns are proliferating in our community. We have extremely high gun crime rate. We have to do something. The people of Memphis are saying wanting us to do something. Democrats in Memphis want us to do something. Republicans in Memphis want us to do something. If you live in the city of Memphis, it's an issue for you, and we should be fighting back.
Having said what you just said in reference to all of this, what is the disconnect between the leadership in the House and this city and county? Is it because we're a majority black city? I mean, you've been on the council for some years now, and you've seen all of this pushback and really sort of a negative attitude coming from them in reference to us. What is this all about?
Well, our politics are just a little bit different than their politics. And a lot of times when people talk about Memphis, especially dealing with politicians from Middle Tennessee and East Tennessee, they've never visited Memphis. They never spent any time in Memphis. And, my biggest issue with folks who opine about Memphis, come spend some time here. Meet the good people of Memphis. Mm-hmm. Don't just look at us or look down on us because we look a little bit different. We worship a little bit different. We fellowship with one another a little bit differently than you do. If you come spend time in Memphis, I guarantee your perspective about the people of Memphis will be completely different. We want the same things that they want. We want to be able to go to school in a safe environment. We want to be able to walk down the street, not be in fear of gun violence. We want a good education for our young people. All those things we want. They want the same thing in East Tennessee. However, they don't spend any time here to get to know the people of Memphis. So I'm very direct on this. No matter who I talk to, if you're opining about Memphis, you're making negative comments about Memphis, you never spent any time here, I'm gonna push back on it. I will push back on it every single time.
I'm speaking with City Council Chairman J.B. Smiley in reference to this issue. One more thing I want to address in reference to this: Mayor Young has stated that he thought that this was futile in its attempt. So we can agree to disagree about situations like that. Have you all had conversations about this lawsuit?
Absolutely. One thing that Mayor Young and I do, we will converse about a particular issue. Mm-hmm. I don't think he actually agrees with the city council's position, but his position is if they're going to do something to attack us, well, maybe we should figure out how to get along with them. And I think this is where Mayor Young and I differ. I don't think they're ever going to try to get along with the city of Memphis. I just don't believe it, and I haven't seen anything to tell me otherwise. Even when Mayor Strickland was in office, he went down there and asked for stuff, and they would laugh at him. They've never wanted to play ball with Memphis. They never wanted to do anything right by Memphis. All they want us to do is fall in line and do as we're told, and that's problematic for me.
Yeah. Well, we're very anxious. When are you all going to court? This week, right?
Yeah, this week. I think first court date is Wednesday. At first it was the 16th. I think they moved it up to Wednesday.
Okay.
We're gonna go to court. We're gonna keep fighting for the people of Memphis. They're not gonna play ball with us. So at some point we have to stand up for ourselves because they're not gonna do it.
Yeah. Let me ask you quickly, if I can, about MATA. That is a very big issue here. Obviously, they talked about that they were going to have to make some massive layoffs and remove routes and other things. Then we heard a couple of days ago that that number of over 200 employees being let go has been whittled down to 50. Now, I know that you have very strong views concerning MATA and all of the money that has been given to this organization. Where do you stand on where they are right now?
Well, I think so I do want to say this. They didn't get here just in the last year.
Right.
This has been years of mismanagement. Ms. Malden, who is the current interim CEO of MATA, I think she's doing what is needed. She had to scale her operations back. They had to operate within their budget, but they also have to put forth a plan for the future. And I think that plan, when she talks about it, will include a lot of on-demand services, similar to, think about MATA on demand. More like Uber, but MATA on demand. I think that's where MATA ends up going because people frequently use those on-demand services. I think MATA would go a way similar to that, in addition to the rapid bus transit system that we're going to have underway probably in the next couple of years. But I'm fully supportive of MATA. Just think about it this way: there's a large number of people who rely on MATA to get to and from their work.
Right.
And we have to find ways to support public transportation system. And I'm just one who believes that if we find ways to adequately fund MATA, more people will use public transportation. We just got to figure out how to make it work and work for the people who call Memphis home.
Yeah, that seems to be the big issue. There are people who, as you say, depend every day on our bus, company. I mean, to get them to and fro to work, to get them to doctor's appointments and other things that need to happen. And this has been a really big blow to so many folks who depend on and ride the bus. And we saw recently sort of a breakdown. You alluded to the fact that this is not just a today problem. This has been going on for a while. And we saw a report where during the COVID crisis, a lot of the states got money. MATA, I guess, was a recipient of some of that money and some of the way that some of that money was spent. And now on things that may not have been too questionable, and now we're seeing the negative ramifications on it. But at the end of the day, you feel like these tough decisions and some other things in working with you as the council will help to straighten this out eventually?
Yeah, I mean, I think the current interim CEO, Ms. Malden, she's on the right path. I think one thing that Mayor Young and the council wants to know is where we went wrong. We won't know that until the forensic audit gets returned back to us. And then we'll know where we went wrong and we understand what we shouldn't be doing. If any individual is specifically accountable, and we will also know, how to better use our funds so that we're truly serving the riders in the best way possible. But I have very much confidence in this current interim CEO.
City Councilman, Council Chairman J.B. Smiley, it is really good to see you. Thank you for coming on the show tonight and talking about all of this. I am absolutely 150% behind you and the City Council in reference to what the state is doing. We will all be paying a close attention to what happens in terms of the court. But thank you for your time. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Councilman J.B. Smiley, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you heard him. He's very serious about this whole issue with the state, and they're fighting, and that's what we should be doing, and we should all get behind this effort. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will continue on the Monday edition. We are rolling along this evening. I hope that you're rolling along with us. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest? or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Laser Live returns to the Memphis Museum of Science and History, and this year, WYXR DJs are in the mix. The series features live bands in the AutoZone Sharp Planetarium set to a laser light show. Each show will also showcase a set by a WYXR host, and refreshments from Crosstown Brewing Company will be available. More information can be found at moshmemphis.com.
WYXR and the Memphis Brooks Museum of Art present the Musical Merry-Go-Round, a meet and mingle mixer where the playlist is up to you. Bring a bag of your favorite records and meet us at the Brooks Museum on Thursday, September 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. No need to request a song, we're spinning the selections from your collection. It's a great way to share your favorite music and leave with a few new favorite songs to explore. More information at brooksmuseum.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
It's real talk. 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 It's real talk.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday evening in the city. Chip Washington with you. Glad to have you with us this evening. And I'm glad to have my next guest with me as well. There is a new program, District Connector Program. The District Connector Program that is happening. You may have or you may not have heard about it, but if you didn't, you're going to hear about it tonight. We have the program director of that program, Ariell Gipson Martin, joining me right now. And Ariell, it's great to see you again, and thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
So, okay, so let's just start at the top here. I guess this is a relatively new program. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is called the District Connector Program. Did I get that right?
Absolutely, you're good.
I'm trying. That's short-term memory every now and again. But so set it up for us. Tell us a little bit about it. You are the program director. You're sort of over all of this. So what is it that the people need to know and how it will benefit us as a city and a county?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking. So really excited to be here. So the District Connector Program is inside of the Division of Community Services, which is ran by our director, Sandy Bromley.
Right.
And most people know the division for CSA, rent and utility assistance, crime victims rate crisis center, aging, et cetera, right? And so we are the new kids on the block. And this program was birthed out of the Public Safety Ad Hoc meeting. And so we have to shout out Commissioners Charlie Caswell and Commissioner McWright for the work they did on that committee to bring forward this program to Shelby County government. And so this program puts 13 full-time incredible connectors in each of the 13 Shelby County Commission districts. And every single day they are doing work to connect residents to resources, to connect stakeholders to each other, so it influences collaboration. And we do all of this so that Shelby County can thrive. Resources can go to where they need to go, and people can feel more connected to what they need.
This obviously seems like a pretty important initiative. Why is it so important? And obviously, you all have started this, and you have people in place. And I like this that you have someone in every district, all 13 districts. So this really is a connective tissue, and maybe more to the point, finding out what other districts are doing with certain programmatics and other things. Am I on the right track with that?
All the things. I mean, you could come join us.
There we go. I wasn't pitching, but I'm glad we got it right.
All the things. So Shelby County is a diverse, incredible place to live, right?
Yes.
We are rich in resources. When people say there's nothing to do here, there's nothing in Memphis, I don't agree with it. I think there's a lot to do here. I think we are so siloed, right, and disconnected from each other, and we're not collaborating enough together, right? And so this program is able to bring people together, but also people have real needs, right, Chip, in all 13 of the districts, and they don't know where to turn to, right?
Right.
Whether it's something urgent like I'm losing my home tomorrow, or hey, I got a small business and I just need to get connected to the different resources. They have needs, and this connected program is able to, one conversation at a time, one stakeholder at a time, able to spread the information about the resources that are right there in their own districts.
This is an information system too. I mean, you're providing valuable resources and information to people who call every day, as you just said about. You mentioned, I mean, we don't know what people are dealing with on a daily basis. This is why I think this is interesting, because you all got together at some point and said, hey, we need to fix this, because there is a disconnect from district to district, from area to area. And if we're going to act like a community of partners, we need to put the resources in place. Now, as the head of all of this, as the one that steers the boat, what is your long-term plan? What do you hope to achieve as this moves forward, and as you start to see things falling into place? What are you looking at?
Yeah, thanks for your question. So 3 things, right? 1, community engagement. I would love for anybody to go to our resource directory, which is going to be a public-facing directory, and type in what their needs are, and they could find something close nearby them that was able to help them through whatever they needed, right? 2, I would love stakeholders to partner and collaborate more with each other, right? Some people live on the exact same street and have been there for 20 plus years that have never worked together, and yet they serve the same people day in and day out.
Wow. Okay.
It's really important, if we're going to move Shelby County forward, that we do it working together, that we put aside our differences and we really make the main thing, and that's helping people, right? We want a Shelby that thrives, and I'm hoping that our programs can be just one pebble across the sea in making that change happen. And the last thing is making sure that residents understand how county government works and what county government can do for them, but more specifically, the Division of Community Services and all the incredible departments and agencies that the division has, making sure that the information about our services, which are free, which don't cost you anything, are more accessible to the people who need it most.
That the Division of Community Services, that's a pretty large umbrella. You all have a lot of programs, and I would venture to say, and you mentioned it, that there are people who really don't understand or know exactly what resources you have available and how they can access those services. But I mean, I'm aware of what you all do, of course, but there are a lot of people that are not aware, and I think that information campaign is something that is going to be very, very important. It sounds as if you're going to be launching a full-out PR campaign to let people know what this division is all about and to know what services are available. Am I correct in that?
Absolutely. So we have a community survey that's out right now. And if you don't have the link, I'll make sure you get the link tonight.
Okay.
We are asking every resident of Shelby County to take that survey. It's built on the social determinants of health. And real quick, I mean, the social determinants of health are just the conditions where we live, play, worship, that affect our range of health, our quality of life, and outcome. And they're non-healthcare related, right? So the zip code you live in might project how long you live on this earth, right? And so we're looking at that, and that survey is able to give us information so we can then take that back to decision makers and policy makers, right, and program makers and budget oversight, like the county commission, like the mayor's administration, and give that information to them. And so if you can take that survey, that would be wonderful. That'd be great. And that can help us better inform where we need to do the work. And because of that survey is so important, just last week, Chip, we gathered a group of seniors, right? Our wise and wonderful people, and said, hey, how could we market this to you, right? To people who look like you, people who are around the same age, go to the same church as you, et cetera, because we want to make sure we're intentional about the language we use so that you feel welcome a part of this process. And so you'll be seeing focus groups around. We've also got community conversations. Community conversations is where we gather people by geographical location. So every district is getting a community conversation. Yeah. And we're able to also have those educational moments, but everyday citizens can be a part of the solutions and propose solutions for their own communities. And so voices are really important, and we want to make sure we center community voice.
And listening to what you just said, that's all part. That's it right there. I mean, you don't know what people want or desire unless you hear from them. So it is incumbent upon all of us to get behind this and buy in. In other words, the time out for the excuses about we didn't do, you didn't know. If you're providing a resource for people need to buy in. And you're right. And we are isolated and I like the word that you use, silos, in these districts. And I know how important it is to folks like Commissioner Caswell and many members of the county commission. So you're really saying to people, you know what? We are here to help you and to support you, but we need you to help and support us by being involved in this and giving us the information so we know how to move forward.
Absolutely. We want empowered citizens.
Yeah. Now I know you didn't hire me as the pitchman, but that was pretty good. That wasn't bad. Well, okay. Anyway.
It was. Listen, I'm gonna go back and rewatch this.
Oh yes, absolutely that. Well, listen, I really like what you guys are doing. I really didn't understand much about it when the reach out was made, but having heard what you said, this is something again. If we're going to be a community that moves forward and thrives, we need to all be on the same page. And the fact that you're providing the resources for people and making it easy, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty easy deal, isn't it, in terms of making the contact and reaching folks, reaching
Absolutely.
you all?
We have 13, I cannot stress this enough, we have some of the best people as district connectors who are doing this not just because it's a job, but because they personally are invested in seeing a better Shelby County. And Chip, I don't think it gets better than that.
It doesn't to me. But listen, I really appreciate you. Ariell Gipson Martin, ladies and gentlemen, she's the program director of the District Connector program, and you heard her talk about this. Before you go, if somebody wants more information about this, Ariell, what do they need to do? How do they need to reach out?
Listen, all the ways. So you can email us at connect@shelbycountytn.gov. You can also go to www.shelbycountytn.gov/connect. You see that theme? We just connect. We want to connect people and make sure people feel connected. So that's how you can get in touch with us.
Well, listen, it was great talking to you. Great to see you. Don't be such a stranger, for God's sake. Drop in. Bring a fruit bowl or something. We need to connect. You see what I'm saying? See, that was a simile there with connecting. See, we're connecting.
I love it.
Listen, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're so sad. Thank you for coming on the show. Listen, I look forward to talking to you down the road. And listen, you're welcome back anytime. Please keep us connected with what you're doing out there in the community. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you so much. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's a nice, useful piece of information there Ariell Gipson Martin gave us. And if you have questions about it, call Shelby County government. They will be more than happy to explain it to you. Let's take our final break of the broadcast. And when we come back, we will continue. We're going to talk about a program that is doing amazing things to help people in transition, folks who may have gone down the wrong road and are trying to get on the right road, but they all need a little bit of help. We'll talk more about that on the other side. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Programming on WYXR is brought to you by a grant from Arts Memphis, who has been working behind the scenes for 60 years to support and amplify arts events, programs, and experiences that together make a more vibrant and accessible Memphis arts scene.
Support for WYXR, including our 2024 Stereo Session series, comes from the Memphis Music Hall of Fame, honoring Memphis icons like Sid Selvage and many others whose enduring contributions to music are still inspiring and influencing people worldwide. The 2024 Memphis Music Hall of Fame ceremony will be held Friday, September 27th at the Cannon Center for the Performing Arts, honoring James Carr, the Gentrys, Jazzy Faye, Wicked Wilson Pickett, and more. More information at memphismusichollofFame.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to the big broadcast on this Monday evening. Chip Washington with you. Very happy to have you along on this edition of Real Talk Memphis. Listen, my next guest is someone who I've had on here before. I love the organization. I love what they do to try to empower individuals who have taken the wrong road, may have been incarcerated, but come out with an intent to want to do better for themselves and their family. The organization is called Lifeline to Success. And I am so happy to have the co-founder and executive director of the program. Her name is Vinessa Brown, and she joins me now. Hey, Vinessa, how you doing?
Good evening. I'm wonderful.
It's absolutely great to see you again. I hadn't seen you in a minute. And listen, first and foremost, as I did last time, I'll do it again this time. Congratulations on this program. I know you and your husband founded this, and it means so much to you to see folks who have gone through and may have lost hope at one point or another be encouraged and have an organization that is behind them and supporting them 150%. What does that mean to you?
It's real personal. One, taking the walk with my husband in his incarceration and watching his transformation. But secondly, you've got to love people in order to do this. And every time they say there's bad people, there's no bad people. We just have to give them some tools to really shine. So this is, it's a priceless thing when you see men and women come in and they start recognizing their brilliance.
Absolutely that. Now, recently, you all got some pretty good news in reference to working with Congressman Steve Cohen in reference to a grant and a new transitional housing place out there in Fraser. Tell our listeners a little bit about that.
Well, Congressman Cohen put us in for appropriations FY23. And the appropriation was to help with extra training, life skills, case management, giving them something extra. And the transitional house came at the same time where Dawn Kennard and her family had a home that they said they would love to give to us. Wow. So we thought, well, how can we put the two together? And what we did was that the appropriation supported training on construction, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, painting, drywall, the whole thing. So the men that touched the house lived in the house.
Well, now there you go. Now now they have made a personal investment in all of this. And how many more individuals can be housed in this particular facility?
It was a 5-bedroom house, 2 baths. Now it's a 6-bedroom house, 4 baths.
Look at that.
So they did a total transformation to this house.
That really is something. And of course, you can help even more individuals now, in reference to this. And I would imagine that there is an immense pride in the individuals who are going through your program. Now, I know you don't mess around with these folks. And if they come to you, they have to make a commitment as well. Talk a little bit about that.
We get that it's hard for the transformation, but life is hard. So when they come in, we ask them to give their all, and whatever help they need, we're here for them. Living in this house is a contract, and they sign the contract on things that we discovered they didn't know, how to maintain the house, curfews, laundry, little things like that. So we've had a couple of back and forth arguments, especially when it comes to visitors at the house. And I don't mind sharing that because it's just something that you have to learn.
Sure.
But the men and women start understanding why we do what we do and that this is their place. If they transform the house, this is their place for transformation. They don't need the noise around, and this is where they grow.
When you talk about that in terms of growth, and they come to you, and they may come to you broken, they may have come out of recently been incarcerated, come out of that situation. Where do I go? What do I do? How do I move forward? And things like that. In terms of those that you accept in this program, or really want to be a part of the program, and you talk about growth, and life is hard. Life is hard, and there are some difficult moments in reference to it. But you do have to be understanding as someone who oversees the program. But you also have to let them know that life, it may be difficult, and it's no joke. But there is a responsibility to being a responsible person. Am I correct in that?
You are correct, but the first thing they have to understand from us is they can trust us, because they usually don't trust too many people. So we have to prove to them that what I say I'm going to do, and I don't make promises I can't keep.
Right.
So when they begin to trust us, and then they begin to start letting go some of the traumas that they have, and then they're able to talk to each other. And I think that's the best part of the program, is when they're in one big group and they can talk to each other about traumas that no one else would understand, because I don't even sit in that group. I close the door. Then there's a release. So now they have a trust together also. So is it a long process? Yes. I think it's an easy process because it's easy to love a human being, but it is a long process, and it's a very tedious process.
Sure.
But you can't give up on a person. And that's what makes this so easy. Just don't give up on a person. I wouldn't give up my kids, so I'm not going to give up on my team members.
Yeah, that right there says a lot, because you're giving them an opportunity to develop a trust again, and the whole concept of talking with each other, fellowshipping with each other, being with each other, and talking about real things that affect real life is an extraordinary important component. As you all are known for. When I first ran across your organization years ago, Blight Patrol was the big deal. That was you all had a lot of young people out there going out and helping clean up the city, and I'm sure that's another component of this. But when you look back on time spent with all of this, and the individuals that you have seen personally that have gone through this program, and maybe are still affiliated with it or part of it even today, what gives you the greatest satisfaction?
I get to see the outcomes. It's nothing like sitting in your office and you get a knock on the door from a graduate from when we started, 2009, 2010, and they're so excited because they bought a house, or they got married, they bought a car, they've had a job. I don't know who else gets those great outcomes, but to see a smile on their face, to see them hug, and it's words can't even express what it means when we see these team members come back. And even the team members, because I tell everyone, employment is not what we're looking for at Lifeline. If we can make them good people, and they know inside that they're good people, everything else comes and the blessings flow. And that's what's happening when we see this.
We live stream on Facebook during this show, and someone made a comment that I wanted to share with you. They said, Vinessa, you seem to be very passionate about this. And she says, it was a woman who made this comment. She says, I hear your heart. And that has to be, I mean, again, and not overdoing it, because you do love, you have to love these individuals, love your fellow man, love your fellow woman, to be able to do this work on a daily basis, because some days are greater than others, some days are a little more challenging than others. But when you hear someone say that they can hear your heart and feel your passion about this program, how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel good. Many mornings I go in crying, because I've had cousins and uncles that are either in prison for life or have passed away, and they didn't have a lifeline. So for DeAndre to put this together, this program that is just a program of love, and this is what I get to walk into. I've told everyone, I used to be in the corporate world. I will never go back, because again, this is I don't even know what the word to use, but it is awesome just to see. And even the ones that Mike, and I'm going to use the word backslide, they still come back and just say, and they call me mom, this is what I'm doing. As long as you're okay. And then we keep moving on. So this is, this means the world to me. It's great when you finally find what God has for you to do, and this is it.
You said you're never going back to the corporate world. You have found your paradise. You have found your calling.
Yes.
You and your husband both, and I'm a big fan of both of you. You know that, and I have been for a long time. And I was so happy that you could come on the show and talk about this latest blessing that you all received to be a blessing for so many others. I salute you. I commend you on the work that you do, and of course, always supportive of you. And anytime you have a program or something special that you want to talk about, this is the home for you. This is you can always come. You're part of my family, so you can always come back anytime. But I really appreciate you taking time this evening. Vinessa Brown, she is the co-founder of Lifeline to Success. She's the executive director of the program right now. Kudos and congratulations, my friend, on a job very well done, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you, Chip.
All right, you take care and have a good night. Thank you so much. All right, bye-bye. There you go. See, these are the type of things that really make me happy. There are days I come in here and after a particularly trying day, and I'm always try to be fired up in terms of coming on this broadcast and doing what I do. But there are nights when you have guests that come on who are really going, in my estimation, above and beyond the call of duty on a daily basis. And it's all about helping other people. It is all about supporting each other, encouraging each other, motivating each other. We have to set each other up for success and stop thinking about tearing each other down every time somebody does something good. We always want to pull them down to try to make ourselves look good. That's not the Christian heart. And as Bryn plays us out, I want to, of course, thank all my guests for being with me tonight. This was an engaging conversation. If you didn't catch us live, we're a podcast, so you can always find us, on any of the podcast platforms, or you can go to my page and take a look at the show. We live stream it each and every week, and I really appreciate you all as an audience. If you like what we do, if you have any thoughts about what we do, maybe more guests or some other things you'd like to see involved in this, hit me up. I'm not hard to find. So, again, it's been a great night. And for Lola, and for Bryn, and for yours truly, Chip, thank you, Memphis, for being a part of what we do each and every week. And if the Lord says so, I'll be back here next week, try to do it all over again, just a little bit better. In the meantime, in between time, have a great week. Be safe, be careful, and on my close, we are out. We'll talk soon.